we come to our first statement on UK infrastructure strategy, and I call the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Darren Jones.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. When this government came to power, we were elected on a promise to deliver a decade of national renewal. And from day one, we have worked to fulfil that promise. Less than a year into the job, we have already started to see the results. The fastest growing economy in the G7 in the first quarter of the year. Interest rates cut 4 times, and real wages rising more in the first 10 months of our government than they did in the first 10 years under the Conservatives. But we are under no illusions, Madam Deputy Speaker, about the challenges ahead and that we will be going further and faster. To turn the page on 14 years of chaos and mismanagement from the party opposite and to deliver the decade of national renewal that we promised. That is the backdrop against which I present this strategy to the House today. And I want to put on record, Madam Deputy Speaker, my thanks to everyone whose input has helped to shape this document, including the review I led in opposition, which resulted in this strategy and the creation of the National Infrastructure and Service Transformation Authority, on which I will say more shortly. Madam Deputy Speaker, infrastructure is key to unlocking growth across the country. Our roads, railways, airports and digital infrastructure connect people to businesses, public services and one another. Our energy, water and housing infrastructure create and support communities. And our schools, hospitals, prisons and social infrastructure provide high-quality public services and help to keep us safe. But infrastructure means improved productivity and efficiency in our economy too. Increased resilience to shocks, stronger public services, more jobs and ultimately higher wages for working people. From the development of the railways to the 2012 Olympic Games, we have a proud history in Britain of innovating, developing and building this high-quality infrastructure. But the reality is that we have now fallen behind many of our international competitors. Too many investors now question our intentions and our capabilities. When we say we will build something, they will often ask if we will and if we can. That is because for too long, the party opposite cut capital investment. They promised major projects one minute and then abandoned them the next. And they left the public estate to crumble for 14 long years, from the roads we drive on to the schools we send our children to. Wasted money, time and effort, declining productivity and wages, stagnant growth, and an increasing belief that politics can't change things for the better. But Madam Deputy Speaker, with this new Labour government, we will prove once again that change is possible. The spending review last week set out how our government is investing in the renewal of Britain, allocating an additional £120 billion of capital investment over the course of this Parliament, with new road and rail projects to connect our towns and city regions, including £3.5 billion more for the Trans-Pennine Route upgrade to reduce journey times between Manchester and Leeds, benefiting communities along the train line. We're also investing in the next phase of the Midlands Rail Hub to strengthen connections between Birmingham and the wider Midlands to the South West and Wales. And in Wales, we are investing £445 million into new rail projects in North and South Wales over 10 years to connect cities, towns and manufacturing hubs. 2 Labour governments working together for the people of Wales. And Madam Deputy Speaker, we will set out further details on our plans for Northern Powerhouse Rail in the coming weeks. But of course it isn't just transport. We are delivering the biggest rollout of nuclear power for half a century, with a £30 billion commitment to our nuclear-powered future. We're providing £39 billion for the Affordable Homes programme over the next decade, the biggest cash injection into social and affordable housing in 50 years. And we are backing British industry with their pioneering work in carbon capture, usage and storage, including with support for the Acorn project, with benefits felt right across Scotland. The task before us now is to ensure that this investment is spent effectively and efficiently, a real change in approach from the party opposite's time in government, and to plan not only for the next 5 years, but for the long term. This is the driving force behind the 10-year infrastructure strategy today. Crucially, it is our hope that this long-term approach will give investors and businesses the confidence to invest in skills and their workforce, to hire more apprentices, to create more jobs and to improve wages in every part of the country. The strategy is by its nature thorough and detailed, but I would like to draw the House's attention to 5 key elements today. First, we will provide certainty and stability through increased capital investment. we are committing to fund at least £725 billion for infrastructure over the next decade, ensuring that infrastructure spending continues to grow in line with inflation after the current spending review period. At the spending review, we committed detailed capital spending plans for each department until 2029-2030. And to provide further certainty and confidence in our plans, we are also confirming funding for the schools rebuilding programme funding to 2035 and the prison expansion programme to 2031. But this long-term certainty needs to be translated into real jobs in every part of the country. So ahead of the summer recess, we will also publish a new online infrastructure pipeline. It will provide up-to-date information about what we will build, when we will build it, and where we will build it, giving industry and investors the confidence they need to invest in highly skilled jobs in every part of the country. Second, for the first time, we are bringing together economic infrastructure like transport, energy and waste, together with housing and social infrastructure, including schools, hospitals and prisons, into one overarching government strategy. In doing so, we will expect stakeholders to think more strategically about the communities they are creating and not just the specific piece of infrastructure they are building. For example, as part of our review of the Green Book, we have decided to pilot place-based business cases, which will ensure that there is proper coordination between departments when bidding for funding from the Treasury. I know this will be of huge relief for communities across the country who, for too often, have relied on poor planning on infrastructure and community benefit. This is the difference, Madam Deputy Speaker, it makes to have Labour MPs who show up and listen and a Labour government that gets it. Yeah. Third, we're taking steps to address the soaring maintenance backlog in our public estate, now estimated at over £49 billion. So I am today announcing a new maintenance fund to provide at least £9 billion per year over the next decade to improve our public services and save money for the taxpayer. This includes at least £6 billion per year to maintain and repair our hospitals so our loved ones can get the best possible treatment when they need it. £600 million per year for our courts and prisons so that justice can be served. And almost £3 billion for our schools and colleges per year by 2035 so that every young person gets the best start in life. Fourth, we will leverage the private capital needed to deliver this strategy. That means matching capital to individual projects and using government debt and equity to invest alongside the private sector. We will also work with industry to explore the targeted use of new public-private partnerships where they can be shown to deliver value for money for the taxpayer. Any new model will learn lessons from the past to secure value for money into the future. Lastly, we have established the National Infrastructure and Service Transformation Authority, or NISTA. Based in the Treasury, NISTA brings oversight of infrastructure strategy and delivery together and integrates assurance, design and delivery assessments into Treasury spending decisions. It will ensure that this strategy is implemented effectively across the whole country, including through formal reviews of progress every 2 years, aligned with the spending review cycle. And it will work across government to provide expertise and support to delivery partners. Madam Deputy Speaker, this 10-year infrastructure strategy is by design a technical policy document, and we will continue to work with businesses, investors, workers and trade unions and local leaders to drive up ambition and improve delivery. But this strategy is much more than that. Alongside our modern industrial strategy, it will provide confidence and certainty in Britain as an investment destination. And it establishes the framework needed to deliver the step change in infrastructure investment announced by the Chancellor in the spending review last week. Done properly, it will result in tangible improvements to the fabric of our country. Our local roads and high streets renewed, so communities are even better places to live. Our public transport more available and more reliable, making it easier for people to get around and access opportunities. Our schools and hospitals and GP surgeries fit for the future to deliver for generations to come, and a country that will be stronger and more resilient. Communities, Madam Deputy Speaker, will see the difference as this Labour government delivers on the promise of change and a decade of national renewal, and on that basis, I commend the statement to the House.